Hello and welcome back to.
Okay, stop whining.
Why did I say that so weird?
I don't know. Was it weird?
I was like, welcome back so.
I think
So
you're, I don't know. Maybe it's our new headsets that we're trying.
yeah, guys,
I
just
mean,
ignore this giant ball
Princess
of.
Leia and Princess Leia's mom.
It's giving Princess Leia, but we're
Yeah,
trying a new thing because frankly, the audio in OK Stop Whining literally sucks, and we're trying to make it better because we don't record in a studio, which is
right,
problematic
right,
for the
right,
audio. So we're trying our best to have the best homemade audio possible.
right.
So please excuse us as we're testing through these kinks. If you still listen to this, I mean, at this point, you're just a real one because we've had enough. We've had enough time off, audio issues, like every type of issue in the book. So if you're still listening, like, just thank you.
Thank
Jesus
you.
Christ.
We're
I'm like,
trying. We're really trying.
I mean, like, I admit, like, I was doing the bare minimum for a while, but like, whatever, it's fine.
Okay,
It's not Pam's fault. It was my fault.
but you're back. You're committed.
Yeah, I'm committed to the bit now. Even on the days that I don't want to do it, sometimes I'm like, I don't want to record, but then you sit down and you're like, okay, yes, we want to do this. Let's go.
Yes,
Let's
yes,
go.
yes. Because
So
you're so busy doing a million other things,
I know. Well, it's fine. We
and
gotta make time.
yes, I have more time.
Got to make time for
So
the important stuff.
yes.
But just off camera, we were just having a conversation about so many different things. We have a few different topics to dive into today. We're going to dive right into the topics, and then we're going to go into a Q&A because we got a lot of Instagram questions for a Q&A. But the first thing I wanted to dive right into is we were just having a conversation about hormones and how so many girls, I don't know if you guys have experienced this, but so many girls are coming onto TikTok and talking about how they stopped their birth control and how people are doing this like natural cycle tracking shit. And like,
Yeah.
have you heard of this stuff
No,
going on?
I do. I've seen it. Yes. I don't understand it because that wasn't happening in my day. So I don't know.
Right. Well, everyone's trying to do everything the natural route now, which
Right.
I think like balance is the key to life, and doing things
Right.
too naturally will cause an issue, and doing things the complete opposite way will cause an issue.
Right.
Um,
Right.
But I don't know. I've been seeing girls posting on TikTok about this, and then half of them are getting pregnant by accident. So I'm like, can't be
Okay.
me.
And then that's a problem with what's going on with abortions. Like that's a total problem. We
Oh,
don't
and
need
then
a bunch of girls getting
that's
pregnant
so
and then not
true.
being able to. I mean, if you need
God
to
forbid.
do that,
Yeah,
God forbid. Like you don't want to be pregnant and you're like 16 years old, 15 years old.
that's so true.
Yeah, it's really it's
And
scary.
but there is this issue of like people don't know what's in their IUD, or they don't know what's in their birth control. And there's not a lot of transparency, I guess, around
Right,
what's in it. So then
right,
people are having these awful side effects and getting sick and having this and that. And then they're having to go off of it. But then it's like, my friend Brooke posted about this on her
yeah,
TikTok. She was like, she's like, I totally get everyone's concern with birth control, but like, so what are we doing? Are we just raw dogging it? Like, what's the better option here? Like,
right,
because there is
exactly.
no better option right now than to just be on birth control and have hormones in your
The
body.
side effects.
And
Right,
people were commenting like, oh, well, cycle tracking works, or like this and that works, or like they're like, I don't know, but it's like, but does it work? Because it's not like with birth control where it's like there's a 99, it's 99% effective. It's
right,
not
right.
99% effective.
Exactly. I personally would feel safer being on birth control, but I totally get it because when I was younger, I tried so many different birth controls and I always had side effects. And it was mainly like nausea. I would
Mm,
always get nauseous on birth control. Now I know it's lower levels of hormones.
right.
So I know that, but I don't know. But it's tricky because you don't want to put all this
Yeah,
bad stuff in your body, but then what are you supposed to do? Like
exactly.
you're like playing Russian roulette.
Exactly. And it's like in the like in a perfect world, I wouldn't have anxiety and I wouldn't have to be on anxiety medicine and putting that in my body. But it's like
Right.
in order to live my best life and be the most calm and have the smoothest outcome, I'm
Right.
on anxiety medication. So I feel
Right.
like, not to like compare that, but I feel like it's almost a little bit similar with birth control where it's like
Mhm.
in order to just like have the best outcome, unless you're like really, really having severe side effects,
Right.
if you're just worried about hormones going into you, but you don't have side effects, like I don't get that. Like,
Well, that's what I want to know. What side effects or what are people afraid of? Like getting breast cancer or like what are people afraid of?
I think it's
Do you even
everything, but
know what it is?
I think a lot of it is
Or
like, I mean, one big thing is mood. I know people complain about like their mood changing.
okay.
People complain about like their weight and weight gain, which it's almost like with anxiety medicine where
Mhm.
it's like, yes, it can make you gain weight because it's changing the chemicals, but
Mhm.
there's no
Mhm.
proof of it. So it's like hard
Right,
for
right.
people to know what the actual cause is.
Right.
But and then with IUDs, I've heard some crazy stories and stories
And
about people
that's
having like autoimmune things from their IUDs and like um what's it called when you have like like
rheumatoid arthritis. Is
yeah,
that
yeah,
is that what
getting that from an
like a
IUD and I'm
lupus
like
or something?
something
But
around along the lines and I'm like
but
how is
can't
it
that
IUD?
be no, can't that be coincidental? I wish we had a OBGYN on here to really get the
I
facts because you would think that like okay, you had an IUD put in and you were already getting whatever autoimmune disease it was. Like
yeah,
to me that's totally coincidental.
I agree and it's like maybe we should have someone on in the next episode if anyone knows of any social media present like gynecologist but with a social
Mhm.
media presence. I would love to pick their brain. There's so much I want
Me
to know
too.
about.
And I would like to pick it for my own
Okay, yeah.
sanity because and a lot of girls when we're young, our moms don't talk to us about
Mm,
menopause. And I'm going through that and I'm afraid to take any kind of hormones because of maybe causing cancer or blood clots or
mm.
whatever. It can cause really bad things. It can also be really helpful. So I would love to talk to somebody about that and why we are not educating young women on the what happens later in life
Yeah,
with menopause. Why are we not talking about it? And I
yeah,
do see there is a trend. I do see more women talking about that now on TikTok. So I
totally.
do see it more.
What
But
are specifically like what are a few things that like you didn't know that you were like surprised by when like going through menopause? And
that
what are some things you're currently like going through?
well, mainly it was me. Like my anxiety like went out of control. Like I've always
Mm,
had anxiety, and it was like crazy. So I
mhm.
know a lot of people get like different mood disorders, or your weight shifts in different places you're not used to. Um, just like people can have all kinds of weird symptoms in their body, and the sweating. Thank God I don't have that as bad,
Mm.
but pains in your body, like all kinds of things can happen when you're going through menopause.
It is crazy.
And
It's not talked about a lot, and I feel like it's almost like a little more taboo than talking about like period symptoms because it's like
right,
when it comes to like getting older and people have like a negative spin on it, and like,
right.
I
But
think it's so important to talk about.
right, but we're women and it shouldn't be a negative thing. It should be
Hmm.
just embracing this next chapter of life and
Mm.
what can we do to make it more comfortable. And
Right.
that's it. It shouldn't be thought of as a negative thing. I was terrified to go through menopause because I was like, oh my God, now I'm not going to have my period anymore and I'm never going to be able to have a baby again. And like those thoughts that go through your head, it is a little traumatic.
Mm.
Maybe for some, not all, but it was a little traumatic for me. Like I had a hard time knowing that. But then after it happens, it's like, oh, not a big deal. I don't have to get my period anymore. This is great.
Yeah.
So I wish that people just talked about it so that the transition is smoother. You're not wondering what is going on in your body. And I wish people would talk about more natural types of treatments again, like what you're talking about
Mm.
relating to birth control. I wish I knew more about natural treatments to treat menopause.
Have you heard of anything about
So
natural
I
treatments?
have. No, I have. But then it's like what really works and what doesn't.
But I think that's the same thing
So,
with birth control too. Is it's like a lot of these natural treatments, the issue is they're not science backed. They're just
right,
people talking. And it's like, I have a
right.
problem with in this wellness culture and this wellness industry. There are so many things that are talked about. People love to spew out information, but I'm like, but let me see the actual results. Like, let me see a chart. Let me see a success rate. Let me see a percentage
Right.
because it's like,
Exactly.
then you're just taking information and you're like, what if it was a trial done on like one person. Like, what if two
Right.
people were successful and 100 weren't? Then it's like, could be a
Right.
coincidence. So
Right.
it's like, sometimes I do have trouble trusting which wellness trends and things are actually science backed and which ones are just people taking a guess and saying this may help.
May work. Right. That's why you need a trusted doctor that's willing to talk to you and give you some advice. Like I was having some issues, whatever, and I went to my OB and I was like, can you help me with XYZ? I didn't go on any medication, but I used something a little more naturally and it worked. But I wasn't putting anything crazy in my body.
Yeah.
And I'm terrified too.
I agree.
But
I
wish
scary.
I wish somebody would I just it's I'm not going to talk about it.
What was the first like menopause? Like, do you remember what the first symptom was where you were like, oh shit, I think I'm starting menopause?
Yeah, I was getting extremely like a warm flushing sensation in my head. It was in my head. Like I'd be out to dinner with my friends and all of a sudden my like scalp, my head, I just felt so warm. Like it was awful. Like this
did you know
of heat.
Did you know from the jump that it was menopause, or did you think it was like an anxiety thing? Because I know with our anxiety, we tend to get weird shit.
Yes. No, I absolutely knew what was happening to me.
True.
And then I would get my period and then I wouldn't get my period. And it was like, and then I would get my period for like 2 weeks in a row and then it would completely go away. And then when it finally went away, I thought, oh my God, I must be pregnant. I remember doing pregnancy tests.
I remember that.
I thought I was pregnant and the gynecologist was like, no, you're in menopause.
The opposite, actually.
But your brain, you're like not there yet. You're thinking there's no way. But I mean, I knew, but I needed to confirm it.
Yeah,
so,
of course.
Once the period was finally gone.
Yeah.
So, and then other things started happening and I was like, ugh, it was like not fun. And then I would go to the OB and complain about certain things. Some things she could help me with. The anxiety for me was really bad. And that's when I went on medication because my anxiety was just the worst it had been in years.
Did your OB connect the mental health thing to your hormones? Like, did she connect it?
No, I mean, at first it was like, well, maybe. And then after time, it's like, yeah, that's what it's related to. My hormones were like all over the place. So
I think that's something that's so underrated too, that we don't talk about. It's like my anxiety and my mental health is so affected by my hormones and like what part of my cycle I'm in. Because like I always complain about this to you, but the week before my period, like a solid like 7 to 8 days before my period is when I start getting ravenous hungry. Like I am way more starving than usual. And all I want to do is sleep all the time. Like I'm so tired. And I'm like, do I need to be on something to be like regulating through that? Cause that's the one time of the month. And it's literally once my period comes, I feel a lot better. My energy comes back and I feel a lot better.
It was the same way. I remember that. Right. Once your period comes, it was like, like you're releasing it all out. You feel so much better. I was totally the same way. I was like starving and I needed sweets and salty and sweet and like,
everything.
I remember that.
But yeah, the worst part for me is just, it's like very demotivating when like you literally feel so freaking tired all the time. Like it's literally like every month, like on the dot, right before my period, I'm like, am I sick? Like, why am I so like, I'll literally complain to you and be like, did I like overdo something? Like, why am I so exhausted? And then 1 week later, like clockwork, it's like, oh, that was why. And I'm like,
a little bit of, PMS, and again, like when we were younger, okay, we had like sex ed classes and stuff like in school, but why isn't there a class or someone to talk to women besides your OB? Like, why aren't we talking about it? Even all these symptoms that come with your period, like, why are we not discussing it?
I think
why do we all think we're crazy?
I think that like it would be really interesting to see more people who are educated. It's hard to like want doctors to also be social media people because it's like they have jobs and I want them to do their jobs. But it would be really interesting for a doctor to like talk more about that stuff on social media or have like more representation on social media, like about like hormones and just like the female makeup and like everything.
Now, there is a doctor that I follow. Of course, I can't think of her name. And she's on TikTok, and she's a doctor, and she's written books, and she's brilliant. And she does talk a lot about menopause. So that's one doctor that I follow.
Yeah.
But for girls your age, maybe I'm following the wrong things, but I've never seen a doctor talk about that.
You know what I just thought of when you're like someone to follow? What? I thought of Hot and Flashy.
Ah, right. I loved her. Oh my God. But it's not that.
She's like, it's hot and flashy.
It's hot and flashy. She's really good for a woman my age. I really liked her. She's on YouTube. I'm not sure she's on TikTok, actually. I haven't looked to see if she's on TikTok. But this is a real doctor. I have to find her and whatever. She's amazing. And she talks all about menopause and actually talks about treatments for women my age that we could be taking. And she is a doctor. But there's like one of her. Like, why isn't there more of her?
Exactly. Because doctors are actually doing their job and not spending all their time on social media making content. But I'm like, please, we need you.
But we do. It would be great. It would be so helpful. So
I know.
We need to make a change.
I know. If anyone has any people that they follow regarding hormones, any OBs that are on TikTok or Instagram or anything, send them our way. We would love to follow them. I'm always looking for new people to follow. They're actually educational and serve like a positive purpose in the world. And they're just like, hey guys, look at my bathing suit.
Right. Exactly. Like, we like to learn things, and especially about our bodies.
Yeah. And speaking of, mood and hormones, I've actually been really revving up like my gym game lately. And it's also really been helping my mood. And I'm curious to see, because before I was working out like kind of like 3 to 4 days a week. And now I'm kind of just trying to take it more to like 4 to 5 and running a little bit more, just getting out sometimes when I run, I feel like I'm literally getting out that stress. Like the cardio like releases. Feels so good. It feels really good. So I was doing that for a while. I go through phases with my workouts. I feel like a lot of people are like that. You just go through different interests, and weightlifting I'm obsessed with and I love, but I've just been starting to add in running a little bit more and really enjoying it and doing better at it. Thanks to my trainer. He helps me like up my endurance. But yeah, it just helps my mood. It helps my mood a lot. It's like honestly the highlight of my day every day is like going to the gym and like getting a sweat, because it's like you time.
Right. And like, you leave and you're like, oh, I just cleared all that bad, as Daddy says, the cobwebs from your head. But it feels like that, right? You're just like clearing stuff out of your head.
Yeah. It's just like, good. It's just been needed. And I've been doing a mix of like, so I just joined Equinox, which it's been amazing so far. It's so nice and bougie. I never thought I would be part of a bougie gym, and now I am. I never saw that vision for myself. But isn't
it kind of a little bougie where your personal trainer is? It looks a little bougie. But there's bougie people that go there.
Yes, but it's I go there once a week, and it's just like for my trainer. Like it's not like I can actually work out there without my trainer. Okay. So it's just a trainer gym, like the place that I go. Okay. Yeah.
Right.
So I go there once a week still, and then I do Equinox all the rest of the days. And I've just been doing a mix of like classes and running on the tread, and I'm doing a spin class tomorrow with some friends, so that'll be fun. But yeah, it's just nice to like have a new routine, especially with like the new year coming up. It's sometimes nice to have like a little bit of a fresh start or it's given me a little bit of a new motivation, and to move my body.
Right. If there's new classes you want to try, you can always go try them.
And it's like, if you don't know what to do, there's so many times where I walk into the gym and I'm like, I just am indecisive right now and I can't decide what to do. And it's so nice to be able to just sign up for class and they tell you what to do.
Right. Or because you've been with a trainer, so you already know how to use the equipment. So when I used to go into a gym, I was so uncomfortable. I didn't know what to do. I would be embarrassed. Like, I'm going to be lifting stuff. I'm going to look stupid. Like,
Mm-hmm.
I hated it. But now, well, since the pandemic, I started
Mm-hmm.
like really getting into weightlifting. And since also being in menopause, it's really good to strengthen your bones. So
Mm.
it's less about burning calories and more about when you burn calories
You
by
burn more
weightlifting.
calories
It's
from
it's
weightlifting.
it's more. I lift weights more than I do the aerobics. Like, I do the aerobics because it's good for your heart,
Right.
but to strengthen my bones, I do a lot of weightlifting and to build
Mm-hmm.
strengthen your bones and build muscle. It's all about building the muscle back.
Yeah.
And so now though, if I go into a gym, I feel more comfortable because I've been doing it so much. I know what I'm doing.
Yeah.
Never had a personal trainer, but I work out with the Peloton app.
Right. No, I mean, I do the same thing. Also, I have my personal trainer, but it's like he's telling me what to do and what body parts I'm working. And it's like I still go to the gym and I'm looking at all these different pieces of equipment. And it's just like, there's so many
It's a
things to choose
lot.
from, and you have to kind of
Right.
have a set, like, okay, I'm going to do arms and legs today. And then it's like, there are so many freaking machines that I'm like, okay,
Right.
which one am I going to do what on? Like, you kind of have to have a set plan
Yes.
going
Uh-huh.
into it before you just look at all these pieces of equipment. Otherwise, you're just
Right.
aimless. You're just like looking at pieces of equipment, like, what do I do?
No, I agree. I agree. You need to go in today's leg day, today's arm day, or
Yeah.
whatever. Or sometimes I do both. I do a warm up and then I do like 20 minutes of legs, 20 minutes of arms, and 20 minutes to warm up.
That's what I was going to
So-
ask you. Like, what have
Yeah.
your workouts like looked like lately, and how they changed from like the past?
So before that, when I was before menopause, I used to concentrate more on the aerobic part, and I would either do running or walking on the treadmill or the bike, and I would concentrate on that. And I didn't do any weights. And then after being in menopause, and I learned a lot from my sister because she was working out with weights a lot and she was getting really toned. And I was like, wait, my skin is sagging and yours is toned and tight. I think I need to change up my game. So I started getting into weights, and it really is a game changer. It tightens your skin back up, and it just, I feel younger from keeping muscle. I like having muscle. It makes me feel great. So I concentrate now. I'll do like a 20-minute warm up, which is on the bike or the tread. Or sometimes I just go for a nice walk outside. I love to walk. But then I do an arm workout and I do my leg workout. So if I want a longer arm workout, I could do like 30 minutes of arms, a 20 on the tread or bike. And then the next day I'm working on my legs.
Right.
So yeah, but I love it. It makes me feel good. I notice the changes in my body. So I love it.
Yeah, I think weights is like really where the like change, like you see changes happen when you work with weights. Like it's crazy the changes you see in like your muscle tone, and
yes,
you also continue, not that it's about calories, but you continue to burn after your workout.
Yeah.
That's what's so great about the weights. It's like I'm just repeating this from stuff that my trainer has told me.
Right.
But during cardio, like you're only burning during the cardio.
During cardio.
But when you do weights, you are burning calories for the rest of the day and the rest of the following days after you lift the weights. And I'm not sure why that is or what the science is behind it. I might sound really dumb right now, but
no, it's true. And
true.
You can eat more because you're starving, and your muscle, it needs, you need
repair.
Protein. You know, a lot of protein.
So much
repair.
protein.
So
you need carbs. And you need carbs.
Right, exactly. It's no time to not be eating. Like I'm ravenous on the days I work out with weights. I'm so hungry.
I'm so hungry all the time because I work out with weights. But I'm like, but what do you always say about being hungry?
It's good. Oh, I love being hungry. The worst thing for me is to not be hungry. If you have no appetite, you're not feeling well. Having an appetite means your body's healthy, and it's great. Be happy to have an appetite.
So whenever I complain that I'm like, oh my God, Mom, I'm so starving, you're like, Carly, be lucky that you have an appetite.
You do, because I mean, there's people out there that are really, they're not well and they don't have an appetite and they don't have strength to work out. So I like these things for me it's a blessing to be able to work out and to be able to eat good food. It's positive. It's all positive, good stuff for your body. You need it's fuel to keep your body going.
Yeah.
I look at it like that too when I'm eating. It's
also one other thing.
Energy.
One other thing about working out that really helps me is like it makes me feel more empowered about my body. Like it makes me feel it doesn't make me feel better about my body because I'm doing something that's burning calories or that I think is going to make me thinner. It makes me feel more empowered about my body because I'm moving my body and I'm using it as like a tool and like it's like very empowering. And so that's something that's like changed too. With me, it's like I get more, and the endorphins and stuff too. It just like gives you more confidence when you work out. You feel better about yourself.
Especially with the weights. Like you walk around, you're like, I am strong. Like I can take on anything. And I used to have terrible posture. My posture, it automatically is back, where before I was like hunched over all the time. And now from lifting weights and doing shoulder exercises, my posture is so much better and I feel more confident.
You just made me think that I have the same thing because I used to have really bad posture, but my shoulders are back right now. They're back. I think that my posture is better.
It is. It is. Now we need to work on, you know who. Chloe.
Yeah, Chloe looks like the Hunchback of Notre Dame.
Yeah, her posture. We need to fix that. But it is all about lifting. When you lift weights and you work out your shoulders, you get that strength in your back, and it's like awesome. So
can we talk about my nails really quick? How cool are they?
Wait, I didn't even see that, but I knew you went and got a manicure.
So for people that don't have the YouTube version,
very pretty.
I did a French manicure with silver
very
chrome
pretty.
dust.
Love it. I love it. It's so pretty.
I thought it was kind of Halloween vibes, right?
Yeah, no, it looks amazing. I talk about Halloween vibes. Look at mine.
Yours are like yours are like Wicked, or are they brown?
It was supposed to be brown, and it kind of looks more like Wicked. I think it's too dark, and when I get my manicure next week, I'm going to lighten it up a little bit.
Hallie had a really good brown on today. I have to ask her what the color was.
Okay, and if it's a gel polish, I need it because I'm getting my manicure next week. It was a gel
polish.
I'll ask her to tell me what it is, and I want a picture of her nails.
I'm literally making her send a picture. They're really good.
Yeah. Like I keep going to the store and trying to find one to bring to my manicures because they just never have the right brown I want.
My manicurists want to kill me every second because I come in every time and I'm like, today first she makes them too long, and then I'm like, because I'm a perfectionist. So then I'm like, can you make them a little shorter? Let me show you a picture of this short. And then she's making them oval, and I go, wait, no, because I told her oval, but I didn't mean oval. I meant like almondy oval.
Oh, you wanted a little.
And then she made them really, but I didn't want point. I just like them more almondy. Like I like them in between an almond and an oval. I don't like them like to a point.
I know. Well,
then she made them too round. Then she made mine too round, and then I was like, "They're too round. Can you make them a little more almondy?" And she's like, "You asked for oval," and I was like, "I'm sorry." And she's like, "Well, these are almonds," and I was like, "Okay, then I want almond. I'm sorry."
Oh my god!
And then she was putting on the chrome dust, and I was like, "Wait, you missed a few spots," and I'm like telling her to fill in the chrome.
You did not.
I swear, I do it to her every time. I go to her every week, like every other week. She knows what she's getting with me.
That is hysterical.
I give her a good tip though every time for her putting up with me. I do.
Oh my god, like extra tip.
I do for putting up with me. I'm like, and it's like, you know what? At least I'm giving you a good tip. I might complain a lot, and I might be a perfectionist.
Right.
At least I'm like, you're getting your money's worth. Like,
yes. All right. But I go in too with a picture every time I go in. I'm like, I always ask you, send me a picture of your nails. Whatever I ask for, I get the opposite. She just can't. But
it's because you have to coach them through it.
I have to coach her, but I love her so much. Like I feel like she's like my best friend. We just talk and talk and talk. She's so sweet. I love her. So I won't leave her, but she needs to get the color right. I don't know.
I know.
We had like 5 bottles out last time, and she kept testing them, and I'm like, no, not that, not that. And then I ends up with this.
You just settle for one because you're like, I'm annoying them at this point.
Right. And then I got this, and it was so dark, but I'm like, whatever, it's too late.
And then all the other nail ladies are gathering around. You know what I hate when they do, but it's so funny. Don't you love when you're getting your nails done and another manicurist will come up and just stand there and watch the person painting your nails, and they're just they're dead silent and they just watch. They just stand there and watch. And you're like,
and I'm like,
hey,
like, what are you doing? Right, hello. Well, sometimes my manicurist, she's so cute, and sometimes she has a conversation with herself. Like her phone will ring and she'll answer it, and then she hangs it up, and then she's like, I don't know what she's talking about.
No, she's definitely talking on the phone because mine talks on the phone too, but she has a headphone. Oh, no. You can't tell.
No. Oh, maybe she has a headphone in because she's like talking, and I'm like, she's talking to me? Like,
no, she's talking on the phone. My manicurist does the same thing. They have their phone next to them. The screen goes black because they've been talking for so long. They have a headphone in, and they're talking in their headphone. Mine was doing it today too.
Oh, I'm like, what are we talking about? Okay. Oh my God, that's so funny.
Sometimes you like don't realize, like when they first start talking, you don't realize if they're speaking to you or if they're speaking to someone else.
Okay.
And then you're
Right.
like,
Right. And I'm like,
and then you're like, oh wait, that's not to me.
I know. I'm like,
Yep.
And then I'm like, wait. Was she not talking to me? I don't know what she's
Oh
talking about.
God bless those
I
ladies
don't
though.
know.
I put them through hell.
No, I literally love my girl. Like I can't.
I love my
can't
girl
leave her.
too.
She could do the worst job, and I just can't leave her because I just love her so much.
I know, I get it.
Yeah.
All right,
best
should we go
person.
into
Anyway.
should we go into
Yeah, so
questions for the day?
We should. Yeah, let's do it.
Okay. First question, how to get over an ex?
Well,
Do you want to go first or do you want me to go
no,
first?
that's easy for me because I'm not so nice.
I know you're not.
I'm like, just get up and move on. I know it's really not right. But I mean, honestly, being serious, go out with your friends and be with your friends more. And when I was younger, I used to distract my mind getting over the ex by looking at other guys because I would then be interested in other people. And I know that's not easy, and if you know that your ex is doing well and they're like hanging out with other girls and they're fine, can you just please put that in your mind and know that they're fine and you better be fine too? Like go out, you have a good time. Like I always said to Chloe when she would have a problem with the breakup, like they're fine. They're going out. They're having fun. They're moved on with their life.
You need to be too.
You should too. Why should you be the one sitting home crying and being so upset all the time? It's really unfair. Like think about it like that.
It always happens that way. There's
very
always
unfair
one
to do to yourself.
But then it's easier said than done.
You need to be strong. Don't let it happen and surround yourself with your friends.
Yeah.
And even your family. Go do something fun and good for yourself.
Yeah. It's so funny. You always say that to me when it's like always a wake up call every time I'm like being a pussy about something, or not a pussy because emotions are valid.
Yes.
I have to learn how to be nicer to myself when it comes to my emotions and stuff. But you'll always be like, Carly, be strong.
Like, get over it. Snap out of it. No, but like, don't let somebody like ruin your life. It's another human being. Like, why should they do that to you?
And they don't get to move on and live their life and be happy. And then you be sitting and rotting. Like you deserve that same happiness, if not more.
Exactly. Life is short. Don't be sitting around like being so upset. Get out. Do things that make you feel good and make you happy. Don't.
And
just
I always say, the faster you and you need to go through those motions and express your emotions, but the faster you start to move on from that person after grieving the situation, the closer you get to finding the person that's actually right for you. So it's like, thank you to this person for breaking my heart and now moving me closer to the right person for me.
Yes, everything's meant to be. So it was meant to happen. Right. Grieve, get over it, and move on.
Yeah, know that it was for a reason. And I know some situations in life you say, why me? And there are certain things that you can't explain, but when it comes to breakups, and I think in a relationship sense, there's always a silver lining. There's always something.
A reason.
Yeah, there's always a reason why. And you don't see it till years later, and then you see it so clearly.
Right. But it's hard because there's an emotional attachment. And I understand that. I'm not like I don't want to be so cold. Like I get the emotional attachment, and I get that you feel like you can't live without that person in your life, but you can. You surprise yourself. You can.
Yeah. Yeah. No, especially in that first few months and in that moment, it literally feels like the end of the world. And I know we've talked about this because Chloe's gone through breakups and stuff, and we're always like,
and it's hard.
We know it feels like the end of the world. Like we know, but it's like not. And like, there's going to be a time when you're so happy and you're not even worried about that anymore.
Yes. You don't even think about it. You have to picture yourself in a month from now or two weeks from now. You're better. Every day you get better.
Every day. Yeah. Take it day by day too. It's like you just have to focus on getting through today and then focus on getting through tomorrow and just do something today that makes you happy. Order your favorite food, go see a movie with a friend, like do just something each day that brings you a little bit of joy.
Right. Rather than sitting home, just being sad.
Yeah. Just being sad. Yeah. Yeah. Do you have some advice on the college application process?
All right. That's
last time. I was going to say like, you're more fresh with this stuff. Cause like Chloe.
We worked
I'm
with
far out of this.
No, well, the college application process, I had somebody that I was working with Chloe too.
Mm-hmm.
So we like we had like counseling through the whole thing. So,
Right.
and I don't know if we did that so much with you, but we did it with Chloe. It was really
You didn't.
helpful.
You didn't.
And plus, she went to private school.
My
so
guidance counselor was like, "So, do you want to apply to community college?" And I was like, "I don't think that's in the cards for me." Which there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that, but I never once mentioned. I think they were just trying to promote our local community college.
We really do have a great community college.
Yes,
we do. So, but I will say that we do.
I always said from day one, I want to go away to school. So why would she bring it up?
No, because she was just bad.
Was nice,
I don't know.
But she was bad.
So maybe like we're at the place where Chloe was taking classes to help her with her ACTs.
Oh, ACT.
Well, she did ACT, whatever.
Yeah.
SAT. They also helped her. So beside that place I had working with her, and then her counselors at school were helping her with the application process. Mm-hmm. So, but you have to ask your parents, because your parents will know. They have to help you. They have to guide you, and who in your area or at your school will help you do this, which is probably your guidance counselor.
And my general advice, just like in general, when it comes to applying to colleges, and you'll agree with this, is like keep an open mind, because you never know. You think you're going to end up somewhere, and then you never know you're actually going to end up somewhere else. Like that happens to people all the time. So just like don't shut things off. Like just because you think a college is a certain way, don't completely shut it out, because you never know what's going to happen, and you can't guarantee that you're going to get into everywhere that you want to get into.
Exactly.
Most people don't get into most places that they want to get into because the whole system is rigged. Right. So just keep an open mind throughout the process. Know that
Chloe only wanted to go somewhere warm. I'm only going somewhere warm. I'm only going to apply to somewhere warm. And where does she go? Syracuse. It's freezing cold, and she loves her school.
She loves it. And it's 75 degrees there today.
It's exactly. And she's so involved, like she's happy. So that's all that matters.
This is actually a great question. Well, someone said begging you to cover more stuff on body image, and maybe in the next episode we'll have a guest on and really dive in deep with that. But if I could just give like one piece of general advice on body image to like take with you for just this week, it's to like just don't focus on it so much. I think when you tend to stand in the mirror, and I talk about this all the time, but when you stand in the mirror and all you do is think about your body and look at your body, then it becomes so prevalent. So it's like sometimes when I'm having bad body image days, I'm just like, you know what? Let's just throw on an outfit that's comfortable and not look in the mirror and just get out the door, because I am more than my body, and I have to be a productive human still. And if I'm obsessing over my body, I'm upset. I'm not going to A, live my best life, B, enjoy time with friends, and C, like be productive in society.
Right. Changing that negative focus that you're,
and just like focus on other things. Yeah.
Right.
I don't know. What do you do when you're like dealing with bad body image days?
I mean, I like to just change my focus. So, or maybe, pick something out about myself that I do love. Like I like my blue eyes. I'm thankful that I got blue eyes. Like just focus on something about yourself that you really love, because we all have something. Try to find one thing. I mean, really, like everybody must have something that you could find about yourself that you love, or even that you did so well in school. Like just focus on something great
doesn't
that
need
you've
to be
done.
physical.
Rather than, something going on that's negative in your life.
And, when they say like beauty is in the eye of the beholder, like it's so true. Beauty is very, like, what's that word? It's like, it's
100% true.
It's dependent on the person. Like everyone likes different looks. Everyone appreciates different beauty. One person could look at a piece of art and say, this is the shittiest piece of art I've ever seen. And another person can look at it and say, I will pay $1 million for this piece of art, and I want it. So,
I have a good example. My nose has bothered me for a long time. And I went to visit you, and we were out in the city, and one of Carly's guy friends came up to me and he was like, I love your nose. And he was talking to me about the fact that he had just had his nose done for the second time and how trendy my nose is. And meanwhile, earlier in the night, I was looking at it like in pictures. It just, something about it bothers me sometimes, not all the time, but sometimes. And he made me feel really good. Like he said that, and I was like, wow, maybe my nose isn't that bad. Like he actually started to make me,
say that.
He made me start to like view my nose in a different way. So
Mm.
it's nice to also give other people compliments about, like, always compliment somebody, whether it's their hair or their nails or whatever it is. It makes people feel good. Like, he really changed my
Mm-hmm.
focus. So
Yeah.
I thank him for
Love
that.
that. Love
Thanks,
that.
guy. Yeah.
No, that was good. That is good. Okay, this is a good one, and we should touch on this briefly. There's been a lot of talk of obviously anti-Semitism in the last week with Kanye West and just the
And the whole
billboards in
Adidas thing with the shoe. Yeah.
with Kanye, yeah, and Adidas,
With
and
Conway
then
and
finally like denouncing him after like
yes.
way too long. Well,
Crazy.
someone asked, do you have any advice on being raised Jewish and experiencing anti-Semitism? And I've definitely experienced anti-Semitism in my own life since I was young, which is actually
Yeah.
really crazy. Like growing up in a town that wasn't fully Jewish, I experienced people saying some really messed up things to me.
Okay. Yeah.
And what about
And
you?
Well, I grew up in a place that was my high school was mostly Jewish. My friends were mostly Jewish, although I had my high school boyfriend, as you know, was not. But I never, I don't know, I never really ran into any problems except for, this is a bad one, when our high school would play football. I remember the other school would come in an area that I guess maybe they weren't, I don't know, didn't have many interactions with Jewish people. And I wasn't at this game. I remember hearing it that they would throw like bagels at everybody at the game. Like they would throw, like, because bagels are like a Jewish thing. I don't know if this is really
So
true, but that was a rumor. I remember when I was younger, but I really, honestly, I think because I maybe grew up in an area where more Jewish people, but I live in an area now where I'm friends with people that are and people that aren't. And I like that. I've never really encountered anything bad to my face.
It's funny because
yeah.
I have such an appreciation for growing up among like a diverse group of people. Like I love that I was raised in a town with people that have kept my mind open. Like I'm not just in this bubble of all people that are Jewish and white. Like, you know, I think it's like a really beautiful thing to have perspective for the world. But I will say, being in high school, me and my friends were always referred to as the Jew crew. Which in hindsight was very like, it wasn't, people were talking down to us. It was always like, haha, the Jew crew. It felt like they were mocking us. People my whole life have called me a Jap, and people that are Jewish, I get that we can say things about being Jappy and it's a thing, but when you're not Jewish and you're referring to a Jew as a Jap, when you don't even really know what the terminology means, you just know you're saying that because they're a Jewish girl that's well
has
off,
money.
Yeah, is like, it's like kind of fucked up. And then when I was even younger, 8th grade, middle school, the boys would say like really messed up, like they would make Holocaust jokes and like say really messed up things to me about like get back in the shower, or like things referring to like gas chambers, like really, really vulgar.
Right, that's messed up. I didn't even know that. That's messed up.
Because you know what's sad though, at the time, I wouldn't laugh at it, but I almost felt so uncomfortable that I just kind of brushed it off and was just, you don't, and I think the problem with a lot of Jewish people, not the problem, but we're always taught like not to, people shouldn't feel bad for us. We don't take pity from people. We brush things off and we move along. Like I feel like that's kind of what we're taught from our grandparents or from everyone's like, we don't want your help. We got strong. Ourselves. Yeah. We're strong. So I think that was always kind of the mindset. It was like, I don't care. Like no one should pity me. Like I don't give a shit. But then you realize as time goes on that like those things are wrong and they should be called out. But when you're so young and they're never being called out and they're always being said about you, you just think that that's like, oh, this is how life is supposed to be. Like this is normal.
Right.
But
and it's not,
I did have a lot of instances when I was younger, like just about like being Jewish, and I never spoke out about it ever.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
It's interesting because I'm older, and you would think back in my day that I would have had more instances. I know that my parents have, and there were places they would say they would go to eat, you know, and they didn't feel welcome because they were Jewish. Like, I don't know. But I personally have really hadn't had anything too negative, and I don't know if that's just because of where I grew up. I was kind of in my own bubble.
Yeah.
And it probably is that reason.
No, I feel like that. And it's hard because, and it's like, it's funny, like when I'm around my Jewish friends, a lot of the things that we talk about are just Jewish things. And I don't realize it until I'm around non-Jewish people. And they're like, oh, your whole personality is being Jewish. But I'm like, if I'm around people that are Jewish, they don't think my whole personality is being Jewish. It's just like parts of my culture and parts of my life kind of thing.
It's a cultural thing. Completely.
Yeah. Like, so I don't know. It's like, as much as it's about religion too, it's also just about our culture and like how we live our life is different.
Right.
I would say. And like our value systems, like if you're a good person, you're a good person. Like that's, you know, good people are good people. So it doesn't have to do with like that.
Right.
But
it's cultural. It's just
yeah.
I don't know. It's hard to explain. It's just like how, well, I guess it's like if you celebrate Shabbat every Friday night, or if you're going to go to services for the Jewish holidays and celebrating Hanukkah and eating certain foods and that type of thing.
So, which is why I don't understand why people are anti-Semitic. It's like, oh, I don't get it. Like, it's the same. Well, I don't want to say it's the same thing as racism, but on the same note as racism, it's like, why? What did they ever do to you? That's what is bothering you. They're living their life, doing their own thing. Like we're living our life with our own culture. We're like the oldest religion too in the book. Like literally, like Judaism is like the oldest religion. Like we did it first. Like
right. I guess people
who are other people to judge Christianity stems from Judaism.
Right. They don't understand our religion or want to understand it. And I don't know. It's always been like a negative. Although when I was younger and I don't know, I would travel, I would always be afraid to say my last name because I was like, ooh, I don't want to sound really Jewish. Like actually my parents would say that, like, be careful. Like, don't say your name. Like, don't let them know you're Jewish. It's like, I feel like I should be proud.
They still express things like that. I've kind of felt that from my grandparents being like,
they do.
You need to be careful about who you tell you're Jewish to. And like, it was almost, I remember in the past, and it's not like this anymore as much, but even in the past, sometimes I'd be with my Jewish friends and we'd be afraid to say that we were Jewish out loud. Like we would almost whisper it like, we're Jewish. Like, do you remember kind of doing stuff like that?
No, I did. I 100% did. So I guess
because
maybe
it's scary. You don't think, because that's what I'm saying. We don't think about these things, but there's a lot of ways of life that we live differently because of anti-Semitism that exists.
Right. Exactly. But we do live in an area where we are more in a mixed area. So there's enough Jewish people around where we live that I think it's more comfortable. If we lived in different places where there wasn't a big Jewish population, then obviously we would be having more of these interactions, which I don't have so many because of where my life is.
Yeah. But I think the bottom line, it's just important to speak about it. And like, it was both upsetting and encouraging to see on social media who was posting and saying like, I stand with the Jewish people, and then who was not.
Yes, exactly. And
for the people that are influencers that post about a lot of causes and posted for Black Lives Matter and posted for other things. Then to see them being silent on social media was a little discouraging. But then when I did see people post, when I saw people that weren't Jewish posting, I stand with the Jewish people.
Right. It made me feel good.
I felt seen for the first time in a long time about being Jewish, because it almost seems like no one really fucking cares.
Right.
A lot of the time.
I agree. But that's how, like with the Black Lives Matter thing, how do you think that's how they felt? The same way. Hello, we're finally being seen.
Right. So, which is why, but that's why with Black Lives Matter and with stopping Asian hate, I've always gone out of my way, and not being like, oh, I'm the best person ever, but I've just always gone out of my way to post, and like, even if people say, oh, that doesn't do anything, but I just want to show solidarity, because there's a lot of people that can't even do that. Exactly. And it's like, there are strength in numbers and support. And so like, I just want to feel supported, and like, people, if something happens, aren't gonna just leave us behind and not try to fight for us. And
exactly,
like,
if God forbid something like horrible would happen.
Yeah, exactly. Well, you want to know that people are there.
That's why you need. Right, right. And you need to make sure you vote for the right people.
Yeah.
Because that to me is the scariest thing. Is
The
what
New
could
York
happen in the future.
the New
I'm
York
very scared.
the New York governor is like not
Mhm.
the one that's like the Republican one is like does not have
Right,
good beliefs, and we're New
right,
York, we're a liberal ass state,
right. You
so
are. Uh-huh.
and it's
It's very
like
scary.
it's scary,
Yeah.
but
Everybody
I voted in
go, please
Jersey.
vote. Yeah,
Please
I voted
vote.
already. Yeah, you voted.
Yeah,
I voted. We're already voted.
yeah, we
We
voted.
did. Yeah.
Okay, let's answer one more question on a light note. Single
Okay.
and 36. Pam, what's your advice?
Oh God, get out on those dating apps. Play pickleball. This is what I'm trying to tell Carly. Carly's got these pickleball courts near her, and all these cute guys, they're out there playing pickleball. You need to play some pickleball. No,
True.
at 36, again, it's just like I'd be either hanging out at places where I don't know if you're whatever, if you're into girls or boys or whatever it is, but you need, if it's guys, be hanging out in a sports bar. If you're into girls, be hanging out wherever,
I mean, you can meet someone in a
socially.
freaking coffee shop, like
I mean, you can, but you
you
have to
never
be
know.
you have to be outgoing and willing to put yourself out there and
Mm,
talk to people. So,
yeah,
and I'm not kidding with the pickleball thing. I mean, it's like get involved in
in
something.
something, in
Like
an activity.
I keep saying that to you, like, cause they play pickleball right by Carly and it's really fun. It is so much fun. I'm taking lessons and you get on the court, you meet different people. You never know who will introduce you to somebody. So
Hmm.
it's all about being social. So I say get into some organizations or some things to help you. Or
And
again,
be a
because it
little. Sorry,
needs to
what were you
be it
saying?
definitely no, or get back on the dating apps and be willing to be more open to different people. Like I
Yeah,
always say to you, I feel like you were being a little more closed-minded. Like sometimes go on a date with somebody you think that maybe you would never be interested in,
just
just
to
to
do
try it
it.
out. You never
Yeah.
know who you'll connect with. You
Mm,
never know who they could connect you with.
yeah.
So yeah, but I know
There was
it is not easy. I know it's not easy.
something else I also wanted to
Yeah.
say, and it was, what you always encourage me to do: be set up, get set up to act, like put yourself out there
Absolutely.
when it comes to your friends, and like
Right.
say, do you have a brother, sisters, mothers, sisters, cousins, wife,
Right.
husbands that you could set me up with?
But being set up is like the best thing because
It is.
you know it's safe because
And it's
they know the
authentic.
person.
It doesn't feel so forced all the time.
Exactly. And then you're out on a date. It's like kind of easy to talk because you're already have somebody in common to talk
Right, if
about.
when in doubt,
You know.
you just talk about them.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. But I know it's not easy. I mean, I haven't dated in a really long time, so
I mean, I
I
can
know it's not
relate.
easy. And you get sick of the same thing because I remember being at that stage where you're going. It's like how many times can you go to a bar? And
I
you get
know.
so tired of it and you need like a change, a pace. And that's why I'm saying, like, try something a little different and out of your box that you
Yeah.
wouldn't typically do.
Mm.
You never know.
Love that. Love that. Good advice.
So, yeah.
To end the episode, I want you to try to guess the 2 costumes that I am being for Halloween.
Oh my God. Wait, I'm guessing?
Yeah.
Oh my God. 2 costumes that you would be for Halloween.
Okay, the first one I'll
Um,
give you a hint. It's like
Yeah.
like fair. It's not like a fairy tale kind of storybook kind of vibe.
Tinkerbell?
Close.
Close?
It's not a princess though.
Alice in Wonderland?
Yeah.
Shut up.
I swear.
No way. Are you
Swear.
serious?
Swear.
That's so funny.
That was so good. You got on
I
this.
love Alice.
Yes.
I
So
know. How
I'm
did I do that? I love
being
Alice in Wonderland.
I'm being Alice, and I'm wearing like a cute like skirt and a little like corset top and a little
Oh
like
my
headband
God.
with a bow. And
Oh, you're
like,
sexy,
I'm like,
Alice in Wonderland.
yeah, I'm like kind of, but like
I love it.
I'm the cutesy one. Like I don't like to go
Right,
full
right.
sexy, but I like to be cute and sexy.
Right,
So I'm doing
right.
my little hair bow, my little skirt, my little corset.
my God,
So it'll be
that's
like
so
a
cute.
mix. And then Hallie is going to be the bunny, like the rabbit in Alice in
Oh my
Wonderland.
God.
And
That
Jazz
is
is
hysterical.
Jazz is the Queen of Hearts. How cute!
I love it. I love
Yeah.
it. Okay,
And
so
then
then the next
then
one?
the other one,
Mhm.
I haven't even officially decided, but I think I'm going to be the most basic thing ever.
The most basic thing ever.
Yeah,
An
what is the most-
influencer? I
That
go
would be
influencer.
funny. would be what's like the actually I may change it at the last minute, but
that's not very basic. But
as of now, I literally am going like so basic.
Basic? Like Anna Delvey or something? So basic.
Wait! Oh my God, should I be Anna Delvey?
You should, because you're so basic.
Oh my God, that was such a good idea.
I just come up with it? Yes, you should be.
I'm being Anna Delvey. That's so
God.
good.
No, so basic. You're so basic.
How do I be Anna Delvey? Anna Delvey Halloween costume.
Oh my God.
So wear like so the glasses funny. And the hair with like a side part.
Yes. And you need something that says like you're so basic.
Oh, you're so basic. Oh my God.
Wait, and how you were so good with her accent. Oh, you have to be her.
You're so basic.
You can do it.
I have to like oh my God, I have to literally write on a shirt like you're so basic.
You're so basic. Oh my God, I'm loving this. But like a sexy shirt. But like a basic shirt.
This is
like a basic white shirt. Wait, a basic
a sash that says you're so basic.
Yes.
Is that Anna Delvey? Is that giving
Yes,
Anna Delvey?
that's Anna Delvey. It is. But you need to be in a really basic shirt.
Like literally
basic,
like this.
I guess basic
all,
white, basic.
All black choker, black rimmed glasses. And
I love it.
I'm gonna
put that's so funny.
I'm gonna put something on me that says "You're so basic."
It says "You're so basic." So basic.
Stop,
oh my God, that's so funny.
Excited.
I want to like high five you, except that like you should be high fiving me because I just thought of your costume.
I was literally gonna be. I was gonna be like a bunny, like a literal bunny, and just wear like a black. I was gonna wear like a black lingerie thing and like bunny ears, but like.
Can you be sexy, Anna Delvey?
Well, I could just wear a tight. I could wear a tight black dress and a black choker and black glasses.
I love it. You need to do that.
It's giving sexy.
Everybody's a bunny. That's so boring.
I know.
Right. Well,
I mean, basic.
You're so basic, and then all night you'll be like, "You're so basic." I think that would actually be funny and stir up some good conversation.
I agree.
If you're just a bunny, who wants to talk to the plain bunny? Everybody's a bunny. Who isn't a bunny in their life?
What? Yeah, that's really funny. People.
But
like
how many people are Anna Delvey?
Nobody. Nobody's gonna be Anna
Nobody.
Delvey. People are gonna be like, "What? Oh my God! Wait. And it's an ADF hat." ADF.
Wait, you need the hat and the thing that says "You're so basic." I love it.
Delvey Foundation.
Oh my God, I'm dying. All right, this is so funny. You have to do it.
Or just wear something that says "Fake German heiress."
Oh my God. No, I like "You're so basic." You need a "You're so basic" kind of thing.
You're right.
That's what she said the whole time.
I know.
You're really good at it.
I know. Okay. Thank you for thinking of that. Wow. That was so great.
I
can't wait to be Anna Delvey for Halloween. This is epic.
I'm so excited. I guessed your costume on the second try.
And then came up with my second costume.
I came up with your second costume. Wow.
And if I need a third one, I'll be a bunny.
Okay. Exactly. Yeah. When you're in desperation.
Follow us on Instagram. Follow me on TikTok. Follow us on Instagram at OK Stop Whining. Please give us a 5-star review. Tell us that you love us. Be our best friend. Support us through it all. And
because we love you. And
maybe we'll come out with merch or do a giveaway or something soon.
Oh my God, that'd be so fun. Wine. Do you want some wine?
Anybody
want some wine?
Anyone want wine? Maybe there'll be some wine in the works. Maybe a little sample of wine.
If you're 21. Only if you're 21.
Okay, we love you and we will see you in the next episode. Bye.